Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we'll be talking about a wildcard team for the upcoming game week, that is game week 9. The game week 8 has just finished yesterday and we have got 12 days till game week 9. So it's a good period of time where you can research, analyze your team and make some wise decisions regarding your transfer ins and outs, and also which players to bench, which players to put in your starting 11, and whether you should use a wildcard or a free hit if you have left. So it's a good period of time where you can do all these. But in today's video, we'll be mainly talking about a wildcard team for the upcoming game week, targeting the most important fixtures and the most important players. So without any ado, let's jump into the video. Okay, so as you guys can see, I am on a particular website. This is called the Draft Hound. You can also go into Google and search Draft Hound or FPL Team Builder and go into the Draft Hound website. You can sign up uh, for completely free without any credit card credentials or anything, and you'll get a 7-day free trial period to use this website where you can analyze your teams, go through all the player stats, different creators, news updates and tips. And one tip, just because I'm not sponsored, if you want to continue this, you can surely sign in with a different account and you will get again 7 days free trial. So the day you sign in, from that day you have got 7 days to use this free trial, which is quite sufficient considering if you sign in at a particular day where you can cover 2 game weeks, you can surely do that. So before we make this team, I'll just go through a few player stats and try to keep this video as short as possible. So once before that, let's go into the fixtures and let us talk about the most important fixtures and which we should target for a fantasy Premier League team. So it's Arsenal versus Tottenham, Liverpool versus Brighton, Fulham versus Newcastle, Southampton versus Everton, Crystal Palace versus Chelsea, Bournemouth versus Brentford, the Manchester Derby, Man City versus Man United, West Ham versus Wolves, Leeds United versus Aston Villa, Leicester City versus Nottingham Forest. So the fixtures you should target are Leicester City versus Nottingham Forest, Bournemouth versus Brentford, Fulham versus Newcastle. Then comes Liverpool versus Brighton. These are the 4 fixtures you should mainly target on, because Liverpool, even though they have been defensively weak, they have been conceding goals this time. They have a good record against Brighton, and players like Mohamed Salah, Diego Jota, Luis Diaz have performed well against Brighton in the previous season. Luis Diaz has got 1 goal in 1 match against Brighton, whereas Salah has got 6 goals and 2 or 3 assists. All these stats will verify soon. Then Diego Jota has got 3 goals against Brighton in lesser number of matches compared to Salah, where Salah has 6 goals, Diego Jota has 3 goals. But the thing is, whether Jota will start or Darwin Núñez or Firmino, that's not a surety. So that's a rotational risk. So in place of that, Luis Diaz or Salah can be a better choice. If you think that Salah costs a bit more and won't isn't returning as much compared to what his cost, then you can surely go with Luis Diaz. Then in Leicester City versus Nottingham Forest, even they have scored goals, but they are one of the most defensively weak teams this time. They have lost leads for 2 occasions now against Bournemouth and Fulham, conceding 3 goals both times. And Leicester City, having players like Maddison, Tillemans, they would try to exploit this and have their first win of the season against Nottingham Forest. Then Bournemouth versus Brentford. Bournemouth, even though they have been defensively weak in the first few game weeks, they are showing improvement in the last 2 game weeks. They have shown improvement in the last 2 game weeks. They drew against Newcastle with a 1-1 score line. So against Brentford, for Brentford, it won't be that easy. But still, a team like Brentford having a firing power like Ivan Toney up front, it should be easier for them to get a victory on this match. Only if Brentford doesn't perform defensively lazy like Newcastle, then it's a sure win for Brentford. Even though they lost against Arsenal and were not able to score a single goal. Still, against Bournemouth, a player like Ivan Tony, Johan Wissa, Da Silva, these players should score and should have a clean sheet if possible. Then Fulham versus Newcastle, even though Mitrovic blanked last match against Newcastle, sorry, against Nottingham Forest, he should be able to continue his form because he has scored goals against the top teams, against the tough teams. So, a team like Newcastle shouldn't stop him from scoring. He should get back to his scoring form. He should score at least a goal against Newcastle. And on the other way around, if you can also go with Isaac from Newcastle. He is on penalties, as we saw on last match. He is on penalties. He has good shots on target, shots inside box, and has been playing quite a large number of minutes. But the thing is, if Callum Wilson is fit and he comes back, whether Isaac will be getting his regular start or not, that's a concern. But considering the way he's playing, he should get the start over Callum Wilson. Then comes Southampton versus Everton. Not much to tell about this game. You can go with either Neil Maupay or Gordon as a midfielder. And if I'll suggest to go with Patterson, if you are using wildcard, surely do not take Nico Williams. Go ahead with Patterson. He has been fetching more points. Everton has been able to keep clean sheets, whereas Nottingham Forest none, and the cost the same. Then in the match was Leeds versus Aston Villa. You can go with Sinistera or Eric Belly. There are not much options considering Rodrigo is not fit. He was supposed to return on 1st October as per the FPL website, but there's no still clear news if he is fit and is okay to play. Then Rodrigo is surely once again an option because of his form prior to his injury. And moreover, he doesn't have an injury on his lower half. He had injury on his shoulder, so as a result, that shouldn't stop him from his scoring form. Then Crystal Palace versus Chelsea. If you guys go through the stats, you will find that Sterling has quite a good number of goal contributions against Crystal Palace, whereas player like Zaha doesn't have much goals against or goal contributions against Chelsea. He has just 3 goals against Chelsea. Aubameyang, on the other hand, has 4 goals against Crystal Palace, but whether he'll start or not, that's once again a question. Then for the match, West Ham versus Wolves, not much to tell about. Bowen is an option. He has 3 goals against Wolves. Other than that, the recent current players have no haven't much returned in this fixture in the previous seasons as well. Finally, Man City versus Man United. Haaland is an obvious option. He should be in your team. Even if he blanks for a week, you cannot just transfer him out. The player he is, the kind of form he is in, you cannot just transfer him out just because he blanked in one game week. So Haaland is an obvious choice. Other than that, KDB is surely an option. He has 3 goals against a team like Manchester United and 1 assist. Then CR7, he has 3 goals against Manchester City. But whether he start or not, once again that's a question. Other than that, if you want to go with a sever option, you can go with Sancho. He has been in scoring form. You can go with Sancho. He costs less as well considering CR7, Bruno Fernandes. And if you want to go with a cheaper alternative for KDB, you can go with Foden, Silva, or Gundogan. Between Silva and Gundogan, who will start? That's a question. Foden should start, so you can go with Foden. And Yes, now it's finally Arsenal versus Tottenham. Uh, Kane's second most favorite team to score against. He has 13 goals plus 2 assists, that is 15 goal contributions in 15 matches against Arsenal. This is a terrific record. And if he keeps up to his record, just like he kept against Leicester City, which is his favorite opponent, then he should score again against Arsenal. Whereas Jesus, on the other hand, has just one goal against Tottenham across all competitions, just one goal. Bukayo Saka has 5 goals against Tottenham Hotspur across all competitions, but just one goal in Premier League against Tottenham. Son has 5 goals across all competitions against Arsenal and 3 goals in Premier League. Richarlison has 2 goals against Arsenal. So Tottenham, as per scoring record against Arsenal, have an upper hand with Kane being the most prominent player. So if you guys have any confusion, I'll say go with Kane over Jesus, even though Jesus scored against Brentford as well. But still, he may score again. I won't say that he won't score just because of his record. But if you guys want to stay with fixed to the record, then Kane is an obvious choice over Jesus. And in place of Jesus, if you want to go with someone else, you can go with Bukayo Saka in midfield. Because Son, even though he scored a hat trick, we should at least give him one more match time to see whether he's really back into his scoring form or not. Whether he's really back into the form he was in his last season. So that's it with the game updates, fixture updates, which games to target, which players to target. From Fulham versus Newcastle, Trippier, Nick Pope can be an option. From Brentford, Bournemouth, Ivan Toney. From Bournemouth, if you have to go with any player just for budget purpose, you can go with Zemura, Billings, these two players. Or from Brentford, you can go with Raya, which is he is a 4.5 million goalkeeper. And if Brentford play well, he should be able to keep a clean sheet as well. Other than that, if you want to go with Everton versus Southampton, Gordon, Neil Maupay, I said Onana. From Southampton is Ward Prowse. I won't suggest players from Southampton because of their inconsistent scoring and performance. Other than that, if Begovic still plays for Everton as a goalkeeper and Pickford is still injured, then Begovic is a great option for a 4 million goalkeeper who will play over Ward, who has been terrible for Leicester City. He has faced 43 shots on goal and has considered 22 goals out of that. So while Begovic, being a 4 million goalkeeper, had a clean sheet in game week 8, that too against a team like West Ham. So you can go with Begovic if you have budget issues. Brighton players haven't done much against Liverpool in the previous season, but this time they have been in good form team wise, so they may perform well, but still it comes down to McAllister, Pascal Gross, these two players, or Trossard. These are the three players you can go with. Other than that, no, not such any player. Now let's jump into the part of the team building. Now let's get into the team building process. As let's go. So in my forwards, it will be surely Kane, Haaland, and just to save zero point 0.1 to zero point 0.2 million, I'll go with Mitrovic. Otherwise, Isaac and Tony are also a good option. If you can save zero point 0.1 from anywhere, you can upgrade Mitrovic to Isaac. But the thing is, Mitrovic scoring has a higher probability compared to Isak in the same fixture, Newcastle versus Fulham. Then in midfield, it will be Madison. I'm going with Sterling because he has a good record against Crystal Palace. But if you guys do not want to waste 10 million on a midfielder, that to Sterling with Chelsea, the team which is struggling at this point, then you can downgrade Sterling to someone like Foden, Sancho, and upgrade someone else like that. I'll be going with Martinelli. You can upgrade Martinelli to Saka or anyone you feel like. Then I'll be going with Luis Diaz in place of Mohamed Salah because I know Salah has a good record against Brighton, 6 goals and 2 or 3 assists, and Luis Diaz has 1 goal in one match. But goal scoring form is more of Luis Diaz compared to Salah. Even though Salah scored in his last year in the last Champions League match, but still I'll go with Luis Diaz just to build the team to fit in players because if I can't go with Kane, Haaland, Sterling, Salah, all of them. Here it's showing 8.11 points from Salah just because he has a good form, good record against Brighton. So you can do that as well. If you do not want Sterling in your team and want to go with Salah, you can do that as well. In that case, you have to downgrade some players. You cannot take Madison, Haaland, Kane, all of them together. You have to downgrade someone. Then for defense, in place of Cancelo, I'll be going with Stones because Manchester City versus Manchester United. Manchester City should win, but still Manchester United will find some scope of scoring a goal at least. So they may not have a clean sheet, Manchester City. Just like they didn't have a clean sheet against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League match. So I'll be going with Stones, who has been in a good form as well in the current few games. Then I'll be going with Trippier. You guys may feel like why I'm going with Trippier in defense, whereas I am going with a Fulham forward. And Newcastle may not even have a clean sheet, but I'm not keeping Trippier for a clean sheet, but I'm keeping him for assist or a set piece goal for that reason. Then Perisic. You guys can remove Perisic and take someone else in his place also for a 5.3 million. But I'm going with Perisic. And finally in goalkeeping, I'll go with Raya. I don't have any other Brentford player, but even if Brentford are restricted to a 0-0 goal score line, then also Raya will have clean sheet points. And if he saves at least 3 shots, then have more a point more. But on the other hand, Brentford should keep a clean sheet, even if it's not a 0-0 draw. Brentford should win with a clean sheet. Other than that, Everson as my second goalkeeper, I won't make him play, and he cost 3.9 million. So him. Then Emerson, he is another 4 million goalkeeper at this price at this point, whereas Nico Williams and Patterson both are 4.1 million. So Emerson is my bench defender. Then Colback, my bench midfielder, and my second bench defender will be Westergaard. None of them will be in my main team, but just to complete the lineup, they are there on the bench. So this is the team. I'll come up with another upgraded form where you with Salah Kane, Haaland, Isaac, or Tony, whichever possible. These four players, and also trying to fit in at least Cancelo or Trent Alexander, any one of them in the defense, with other proper options in midfield. There will be another wildcard team. This is wildcard team 1. There will be another wildcard team. That will be wildcard team 2, which will be uploaded by the next week. In between that, I'll be coming up with a video of popular transfer ins and outs. Till then, if you have guys liked the video, if you are satisfied with the facts and everything, don't forget to like and subscribe and show some support, because your support means a lot to me. It gives me the motivation to keep going on, even though I don't have subscribers, likes. Still, I feel like uploading videos only when I see that our views, people watching my videos, I'm getting at least 100, 200. One of my videos at 500 views, 1k views. So these all these keep help me keep going on. So if you want to add to that, a like, even if you don't subscribe, a like won't cost you anything. Even a subscribe won't cost you anything. But if you don't feel like subscribing, then at least you may give a like. That's all my request to you. Thank you so much. And as an update, before I leave, my previous, if you haven't checked my previous video, which was which was my final team for Game Week 8, you can check it out as well. Even though it won't matter right now, but I had not used any chips, no wildcard, no freight. I just took free transfers, and I took a minus for it, which I couldn't have taken as well because it didn't matter much since it was Mitrovic. But other than that, still my team somehow managed to get 60 points, which I am totally satisfied about. Saliba doing the trick in the final match day with 15 points. Other than that, all my players did well except for Mitrovic, Andreas, Neko Williams. Everyone did well, and also Ward with 0 points. If all these three players have at least provided me with 4 points, 3 to 4 points, then also my team would have reached around 70 points, which would have been cleared without having used any chips. So that's it. If you like my video, like, subscribe, comment. My current rank is 5.7 lakhs overall. I hope to get a green arrow once again in the upcoming game week as well. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck.